Hey, I thought Black Lives Matter. Where are all those who stated Black Lives Matter?
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about New York City Mayor Eric Adams calling out Black Lives Matter after a night of bloodshed in the city. Now, I'm not even referring to the whole subway shooter thing. That's a separate situation. I'm talking about the regular, everyday violence that happens in the city. So late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning of this week, there were 16 shootings and 3 deaths, young Black people. So New York City Mayor Eric Adams is saying, hey, where's Black Lives Matter at right now? We got all these shot and or killed Black people, but they're nowhere to be seen. What's going on with that? Now, I wonder what BLM has to say in response. Will there be any response? I doubt it. But before I go any further in the rabbit hole, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see and hear Eric Adams talk about BLM and the shootings and what's happening in the city. After we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
As the NYPD was searching for the suspect in the subway shooting yesterday, there were more than a dozen shootings in the city last night. And not to mention the shootings that we've seen recently of young, innocent people, some older as well, being shot on the streets of New York. How do you get a handle on this crime in this city, Mr. Mayor?
By being consistent with our message. Here's my question that I put out to the city. Hey, I thought Black Lives Matter. Where are all those who stated Black Lives Matter? Then go do an analysis of who was killed or shot last night. I was up all night speaking to my commanders in the Bronx, in Brooklyn. The victims were Black. Many of the shooters were Black. So I asked the question that was asking me when I was a child. It's 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Why are 16, 17, and 18-year-olds out in our streets armed with guns 12, 1 o'clock at night? When are we going to start asking these serious questions? If Black Lives Matters, then the thousands of people I saw on the street when Floyd was murdered should be on the street right now stating that the lives of these Black children that are dying every night matters. We can't be hypocrites.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, shout out to Eric Adams for saying what needed to be said in that particular moment, because I know we've all thought about it, we've all said it, and others who may not admit they think about it, who may not openly say it, they want to say it. They're thinking it, they're feeling it, because it's pretty much common sense. Anytime a Black person is killed and it's politically advantageous, like for example, let's say a police officer does it, better yet, a white police officer, or just a white person in general. Whenever that happens, BLM and all these ambulance chasers, your Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, whoever wants to join on the bandwagon, they're all like hyenas and vultures and wolves to go after this particular incident, to use it for their own purposes. Okay, they could say, oh, we're a victim and we keep getting killed by the white man, keep getting killed by the police. But however, when we, meaning Black folks, kill each other, it's not really a big deal. We're pretty much hands off. Okay, and we're talking about abortion. The same people who will go out there and say Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, you killed Rayshard Brooks, you killed George Floyd, you killed Trayvon Martin, those very same people will be advocates of abortion. Now, make that make sense. Abortion is the chief killer of Black people, even beyond other things we tend to ignore, like the very high murder rate, the suicide rate, HIV, AIDS, drugs, car accidents, all of that, fire. Above all that is abortion, but the same people who say Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, will support the idea of abortion. They'll support the mass genocide of Black babies. I think I saw a stat a while back that said there were like 20 million Black babies aborted since 1973 Roe v. Wade. So imagine how many mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers are just not here. We're just not even here, not even in the equation to potentially be a victim in the eyes of Black Lives Matter, right? Those things that really matter, those things that truly impact our birth rate, those things that truly impact our population don't really matter to BLM because they got their eyes on the prize. We see what they do. We see their whole real estate portfolio. What's that like? What's the portfolio now? I think it was like 4 point something, 3 point something. I think it was like $3.4 million portfolio. Now it's like a $9.1 and $9.2 million portfolio because they got that quote unquote secret $6 million estate talking about, oh, we're going to use it for content creation. Really? Content creation? Come on. What kind of content you can make over there? You're going to make one YouTube video, put it on your page and say, well, we made content there. So that satisfies the IRS requirement. What about your moral requirement? What about your ethical requirement? What about what you say to your donors and to those that support you out there? You're not really worried about them because you're worried about their money first. You're worried about trying to hedge against inflation and really participating in the capitalist system while at the same time talking about how you're a Marxist and a communist and you want to eliminate the whole system, kill the nuclear family, all the very things that make you rich, you purport yourself to be in favor of eliminating. I can't tell if you're legitimate or illegitimate. You appear to be very illegitimate when you go out there and do things that are the exact opposite of what you put out there to the public. It's all about money at the end of the day. Eric Adams is right. BLM didn't really care. And at a certain point, do the citizens of New York City care? A lot of you guys who live in New York, you guys care. I'm not referring to you. I'm talking about those that are out there. You got these parents with these 17, 18, or even younger than that, 14, 15-year-old kids roaming the streets with guns. Where are the parents at? Do they care about what their child is doing? Do they care that little Demon Tavius is going out here thugging and drubbing and robbing and shooting and killing? Do they really care? How many of these young kids are helping support their household with the proceeds from the illegitimate activities, from their crimes they commit, from the robberies and the shootings and the murders and everything else that they commit? Okay, so I think there's a lot of blame to be put on not just outside organizations, not just certain politicians, but also the parents, the kids that are out there doing whatever they're doing. Okay, at a certain point, the community has to be able to police itself. You can't rely on the police to do everything for you. Okay, if you are in a high-rise building in New York City and you throwing diapers from the window and letting it hit the ground and you're not taking care of your spot, you got roaches and rats everywhere because your apartment is filthy. At a certain point, that's up to people in the community. And poverty, I don't want to hear the poverty excuse talking about, oh, well, we got a very high murder rate in the Black community. What's it like? 52% of all murders in the US of A are committed by Black people. And we're also 48% of all victims, despite being only 13% of the population. Okay. That right there has nothing to do with poverty. Okay. Poverty is not even really it. Poverty is not an excuse to go kill somebody because they stepped on your shoes in the club or they talked to your baby mama or some other kind of trivial nonsense like that. Poverty is no excuse. Poverty is merely a symptom of a broken culture. You can't have wealth. You can't have success when you're focused on the most ridiculous, nonsensical things. You focus on getting Jordans. You focus on smoking weed, drinking, like not even doing else with your life. If you focused on that, you're not going to be able to go forward. That's just what it is. Okay. And you're going to have dangerous environments, criminal environments. And the saddest part, I should say, because it's all sad, but the saddest part is that you have regular people, regular normies who are like born in it. They may be on hard times. They have to live in a particular place where it's low income or whatever. They have to be immersed in this ridiculous culture. Okay. And again, the money ain't even a thing. I say low income area because, again, low income, the poverty, the lack of funds is merely a symptom of a broken culture. We got to get beyond that. Black Lives Matter. It's just a ridiculous, useless organization, even worse than the NAACP. They just out there for money strictly, and that's it. And all they do is rabble rouse to get their money. They may start a riot. They may inflame a riot because they know they're able to fundraise like that. Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter related organizations, as I close, raised over $10 billion with a B, $10 billion in 2020 after George Floyd died. What have they done with it? Where's the actual results on the ground for these communities that are in danger every single day? If there has been any work done, if there has been any forward progress, then I can't tell, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what said you? How do you feel about what Eric Adams said? Do you think he was on point, off point? Do you think that there's other places, other people to blame, other things to blame aside from what he said? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. He made a valid point. Black Lives Matter. I always talk about black men being shot, killed, and how dangerous it is for us to live and all this and that. They want to go out there and protest and rabble rouse and cause a problem. But what about every single day when these kind of things happen? How about back in Arkansas, to talk about that for just one quick moment? There was a mass shooting where one person died, but 28 others were shot at a car show in Arkansas. Have you heard about that? Have you seen that on the news at all? No? Why? Mostly black folks. Who cares, right? Just regular old violence. Oh, but if the one person who was shot and killed were to be killed by a police officer, ignore the 28 others who were shot, probably by that person. We're going to focus on that right there. Oh, he didn't arrest him, right? It's so dumb. And I wish that those who were kind of sleeping and don't really see what's happening, I wish they wake up and smell the coffee. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.